What's up, and welcome to the LWG podcast. I am your host, Eslam, aka Raw God of the Sun, accompanied by Dan, Papa Sun Killer. How's it going, Dan?
It's going great. There might have been a typo in that I've never noticed before.
Dude, what have we talked about these typos?
I
It
know.
is
I like to
what it
catch them
is.
and try to fix them if possible. That's the thing. So I'm letting myself down. Do you want to run it one more time just so I can see it, just for the people?
No,
Okay, fine.
cause I'm gonna have to edit it out. So,
No, you don't. You can just put it twice. This is the episode we're in. It's fun.
all right,
If you
fine.
don't want to, I'll look
I'll
it up
put it
later.
again. I'll put it
All right.
again.
No, you got it. You're fine. I misread the thing. I wasn't paying attention. You're fine. Everything's good.
You.
Hey, man, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
doing great.
we were. um. We were talking the other day, and I was telling you how I thought I misspelled battle,
Mm,
and I went through that whole rigmarole.
no,
Yeah, that was funny.
no.
Um, but yes, welcome to the Los Wise Guys podcast. You know what? Before we go into like the main topic and things, I have some breaking news for everyone that
Okay.
I wanted to share.
Let's do
So
it.
I'm just gonna run that real quick. Everyone, I'm old as fuck.
Yeah.
That's the breaking news.
Yeah, if anyone is listening to the podcast version of this, Eslam put a graphic up,
Yeah,
and at the bottom said "old as fuck." And "old as fuck," he changed the two
yeah.
letters in the middle so it didn't say "fuck." But I love that it had 9K because it made me immediately think you're at least 9,000 years old.
Yeah. I'm over 9,000, bro.
Yep,
I'm over 9,000. I'm old as fuck. It all started on Saturday. And
that's when you got old. That's what happened.
Saturday night, I'm in bed and I'm like just like cracking my toes, you know what I mean? And
You can't just say that like that's just chilling in bed, just cracking my toes. You know the usual.
but I'm not like
So,
doing my hand. I'm just like
all
doing
right,
this
that's
with
not. It's not helping, but all right.
I'm just doing this with my toes and they crack and stuff.
Yeah,
So
just
I'm doing
cracking
that.
your feet. Yeah.
And I think while I'm doing that, I pulled the muscle in my leg, like at by like my Achilles tendon and like by my ankle, and I woke up the next day and shit was hurting.
Hmm.
Shit was hurting, Dan, and I don't know, man. It just kept progressively getting worse, to the point where it literally woke me up in the middle of the night from the pain today.
Hmm.
Like I had to get up and like limp my way to some Advil.
Hmm.
Took three of those bad boys and just had to wait for them to kick in before I can fall back asleep because of the pain.
Hmm.
And and I've been icing it all day today, and the swelling has went down. And I'm just it's old as fuck, old as fuck for that to happen. And you know what I mean? I don't know what to say, bro. I don't know what to say.
So I have, I have things that happen to me, but for the most part, I'd say you're in all around better shape than me. You eat better than me. You work out more often than me. You're just in better shape than me. But you keep having the weirdest things. It's like I'm very sore because
Always.
I worked out yesterday. I worked out this morning, and I went pretty hard. So I'm pretty sore. But if I like the average American want to just crack my toes in the morning. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna injure my or near my Achilles tendon and cause swelling. I don't think that would happen. I don't know what that
Dude,
is.
I don't know what's been happening, but like my body's slowly falling apart. It really is. I'm on my second cold within like a month.
Hmm. Hmm. Did you forget
And
what?
huh?
Did you forget what?
They did not. I've been keeping them dry, but
I'm
like
so upset that I know that about you. That if you
yeah.
forget what, you're gonna get sick. I hate that I know that
Yeah,
about you.
yeah.
I've known you for too long.
it just have I've been good. I have like my leather boots, so now every time it rains, I wear my
Hmm.
leather boots.
My feet have been getting wet a lot lately.
That's wild.
Yeah,
It's so inconvenient.
I hate it. I hate
It's
it
the
when it's bad.
worst. It's the
There's
worst.
nothing worse than a wet foot, you know?
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Man,
I hope you're still listening to this. Like,
it's getting old. We getting old as fuck. If you are still listening, um, let's get into the main topic. And the main topic today is our old reoccurring topic, Mount Rushmore. And the Mount Rushmore we are doing today in honor of N7, Mass Effect, and the number one fan Henry, who suggested we do something for Mass Effect for N7, because N7 day just passed.
mhm, mhm,
We are doing Mount Rushmore of the best Mass Effect crew members, in our opinions.
mhm,
So we're gonna be throwing them out there, and once we tell you who this crew member is, we're gonna tell you what we would put up on that Mount Rushmore, something that symbolizes them. So we can jump in right away. Let's do that, and I'll go first. You know what I mean?
mhm, mhm.
And
I want you to build it up before you. Never mind. Okay.
yep, I built it up. Here it is.
Well, the people
um,
can't. The people who aren't watching, they don't know. So build it up for the
they
people.
don't know, but this is one of my favorite characters in the whole series. Now, I haven't played Andromeda yet, so I don't know a lot of the any of the Andromeda characters, but this one's a staple in all three games. Um, you can say he's the vice captain. You can say he's the right hand man. You can say he is, you know, just if Shepard wasn't the one that was picked for this missions, this would have been the next up in line
I mean, and
to
that's an actual fact from the game. Actually, I don't know if
defeat.
you're aware of that.
I did not know that,
Yeah,
but that would be my guess. That's amazing.
yeah. I think he was
Uh,
supposed to be up and running to be Spectre, and then they were just like, no, they went with the human. I could be wrong about that, but if I remember correctly, it was supposed to be him.
and so Garrus is my first um Mass Effect crew member for Mount Rushmore. Now, can you uh refresh my memory of his name, his nickname in the second game?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna jump in real quick, and I just want to say Garrus Vakarian is also on my Mount Rushmore as well. He, like you said, he's the right
Yes.
hand man. He is the number two. He is the second in command to Shepard. And one thing that you would like, what you're trying to say is he's also the Archangel. Like this man
Yes, thank you.
is just a badass. And one thing
Hmm.
he is justice. Curious Vicarian,
Yes.
he's all about bringing the justice out there, whether it's approved or not. That's the thing. That's why he didn't want to be one of those CSEC officers no more, because they just kept on holding him back. He's like, no, if I team up with a Spectre, I can do what I need to do. I could dole out justice. I could protect the universe. And that's what he was all about. Because in CSEC, he had too many restraints, too many restrictions. So he broke out. He did what he had to do. In the second game, he's the Archangel, where this man forms a gang to take down all the other gangs because they're
Hmm.
ruining like this already like horrible area in Omega. And yeah, man, now Garrus is just badass. He has to be on everyone's Mount Rushmore for favorite crew members in Mass Effect.
I think so. I think if you don't have him on your list, something's wrong with you. You
Hmm.
didn't play the game right.
Hmm.
But Garrus Vicarian. So for me, since I'm gonna use his moniker of Archangel for my Mount Rushmore,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna put the Archangel Gabriel there.
Hmm.
So that's gonna be, but we're not gonna show his face. It's just gonna be, you know, uh, wings, angel wings.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's gonna
I
be my Mount Rushmore representation.
so for me, for Garrus Vicarian, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something unusual, and by keeping it traditional, I will put his face up there.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
it already looks like a bunch of rocks. And I want the visor, the
Okay.
DBZ visor, and I want the scar,
Yes. Yes.
the Archangel scar. And I want that up there.
Nice. Nice.
First time I think I've ever just put. I think anyone has ever in our podcast has ever just put a true face up on a Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore the way it's supposed to properly be. But I have too much respect for Garrus to do anything else. So there you go.
Uh, no, that's a good point. All right, next up, I think this is another one on both of our lists, but I'm gonna move forward. Um, the if Garrus is the right hand, I would say this character is the left hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say this character is third up on the crew. Very important with her work and her connection to the main character, which is Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
So next up for me is Liara to Sony,
Mm-hmm.
one of his paramours and a friend and a partner throughout the three games, whether she's a paramour or not, always there. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Liara's character. She was like she's kind of annoying in some parts, but for the most part, I really enjoyed her character. I need to do like a replay where, because I remember you told me you did it where you chose her as your paramour for all three games, and the
Yeah, I've
story
done.
made a
Yeah,
little bit
I've
more
had Liara
sense.
as the love interest. One, I mean, Garrus is also an option for a love interest. I don't know if you have to be female to have Garrus.
Hmm.
But he is a love interest. But no, yeah, I did that with Liara because I played through the games a few times, and the story, the love interest that makes the most sense to me story
Yeah,
wise, is Liara.
it does. Yeah,
Um,
that makes
you
sense.
know, yeah, it makes the most sense. Where one of the things I like about her is you see so much character growth. Now you see that with a lot of the characters, but I
Hmm.
feel like with Liara specifically, where she's just an architect, not an
Well,
architect. Wow, she is a if you want to learn about architects, check out last week's episode. She is a archaeologist, is what I meant to say, and she
yeah,
wants to learn about different like Prothean uh,
artifacts.
artifacts. Thank you. And when she's just this young girl who's only like 100 years old, and she's and she's like just a kid, and she's like, "What's going on?" She stumbled upon this whole thing, and then she joins up with this crew. This guy's a Spectre, and he's a human. He's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And you get to that point, you get all the way to the end of the third game, and you see she's like this established character. And one thing I want to say, if you said Garrus is the right hand, now the left hand is usually the right hand is out in the light. The left hand is like the sneaky hand. It's the hand that you don't know what's doing, and that works
Yeah,
because she is the shadow broker.
yeah. She becomes the shadow broker.
So it's like
100%.
there's so much with Liara where it's like she just goes from this like Prothean archaeologist to then becoming like,
Almost like a
yeah,
naive character in the first game
exactly, to the
to
point where she
this
knows
total
everything about
badass.
everyone. Like
Yeah,
she's an information broker. She knows
yeah.
every detail about everyone there's ever been. So it's great. Even in the Andromeda game, later on when you're looking through notes and stuff, you find out like Liara as the shadow broker is like you find like notes throughout like the game or whatever like from her.
Nice.
So yeah, man, Liara is one of the most important characters in Mass Effect, arguably the most important character in Mass Effect, not counting Shepard. So yeah, man, obviously on my list as well.
So for Liara and Shepard's like love, for me for Mass Effect 4, if they don't bring back Shepard, I would love for the main character to be the offspring of Shepard and Liara.
Mm.
So like an Asari named Shepard. So that's what I would like to see.
I'd be down for
But
that, but then you're gonna have a bunch of people. "Oh, Liara wasn't my romance interest, so I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only
yeah,
issue.
that's fine. But fuck those people.
Yeah,
Who
but I
the
mean,
fuck?
you
They
gotta,
don't know. They don't know.
you can't do that. Even if I'm down with that, I feel like Liara is the true love interest. You can't do that.
I can do whatever the fuck I want.
What
All
would be
these
cool?
people can go to
Now,
hell.
what would be cool? You get to pick who the offspring is, and that way you can continue your
Mm.
story. It was like so whoever wants it to be Liara, they could be Lara. If they want it to be Garrus, if they want it to be Tally or Jacob or Ashley or someone else, I can't think of another one, Morden.
Hmm.
Like you could be one of their offspring with Shepard. I think that's a good
Interesting.
route to go.
Interesting. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that makes more sense. But I'm gonna be a tyrant, and I'm just gonna say it's Liara's offspring with
Okay.
Shepard.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Um. All right. Let's move on. My next up
Hmm.
is. Oh wait, we didn't say. Sorry, forgot.
What
Um.
I want to do?
The Mount Rushmore.
No.
Um.
You didn't say. Oh no, you didn't say yours. Yeah. What is yours?
Did you say yours? You're just
No, I
gonna put her
didn't.
face?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I haven't
Um.
decided yet. I want to hear yours.
Honestly, I don't know how to represent Liara. I really don't.
I would legit. I'd have a bunch of zeros and ones.
Oh, as the Shadow Broker. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
We don't know who the
You
shadow
know
broker
what? I'm gonna put her face.
is. Okay.
I'm gonna put her face
Respect.
as yeah, she deserves it.
If she wasn't the shadow broker, I would put her face up. But we're not supposed to know that she's the shadow broker. We're not supposed to know what she looks like.
I'll put her face with a hoodie
There you go. Perfect.
and some sunglasses.
Perfect.
So next up for me, um, is my man Grunt. Now Grunt is one of two, forgot the species, um, that we
Krogan.
play with. Huh?
Krogan.
Krogan. One of two Krogan that we play with. The first one is Rex, and I really love Rex, but Grunt was just funnier for me. He was a really cool character. He was growing in the lab, and he had to go on this path to almost find out who he is and what he wants to do. And it was fun playing that story. I would say a little bit more fun than for me than Rex's story. Rex was already a Krogan. He was wanted to help his people and stuff, and that's all good. And but I don't know. Grunt had I had a lot more fun with Grunt in the story. It's like they wanted to bring back Rex for the second game, but like Rex had obligations, so they're like, we're gonna throw in Grunt, and I enjoyed him way more than Rex. So. Uh, yeah, Grunt is my third option. Um,
See
but
that's a great one. I don't have Grunt for mine. I like Grunt the character. I love Grunt the character actually. Um,
yeah,
I probably put him on par with Rex. I don't know if it's a fever dream or not. I still feel like you could have Eve as a party member, or maybe I'm misremembering. So
who's Eve?
the female Krogan.
Mm,
I could be wrong about that. I think if you make certain decisions, she could be, but I might be wrong about that.
okay.
Is this my turn or is this yours as well?
Well, I'm gonna let you say who's yours, and then we'll
Well, who do
we'll
you want to
just.
put? What do you want to do for Grunt on
Well,
Mount
I'm
Rush?
gonna think about that while you talk
Okay.
about yours.
All right. I wanted to build mine up, but you just said no. All right. But anyway, for mine, I want to take another character that I feel like had a lot of growth,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of mystery behind this character simply because we never got to see their face, or so we thought until the Mass Effect Definitive Edition came out. If that's not what it's called, I forgot what the new one was called. But anyway, Tali'Zorah Voss blank. It could be Tali'Zorah Voss Nima, or as we later get to know her, Tali'Zorah Voss Normandy. Um, Tally is a great character. You see her; she's just a kid. She's. I feel like when you first meet her, it's almost like it feels like a side mission. When you're in the what's it called, the main hub in the first game. I can't remember the name. The Citadel. Thank you, Eslam.
Oh,
When
you're
you're in
welcome.
the Citadel, and it's just like you just randomly run into her, and it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot what their species is, but this whatever, it went ahead and they're stealing stuff from me. And she's like, no, I'm not. Blah blah blah. I'm just on here on my pilgrimage from my race. This is how we do things. Blah blah blah. And then you could decide like, hey, I want to help this girl out, or just you don't give a shit. And then you help her out. Next thing you know, she's a crew member. I was like, oh, I guess she's part of my crew. Later on, Tally becomes one of the most important characters, has arguably the best storyline in all of Mass Effect in terms of like the revolution with the Geth and
Hmm.
her species, and then you have the final fight on her planet, which her race hasn't been to in forever. So it's just like Tali'Zorah ends up becomes like Tali'Zorah. That is her name, Tali'Zorah.
Yeah.
I was mixing up with Liara. So yeah, Tally becomes like one of the most badass characters, and I just love everything about her. Like her species, her group, her story, her relationship with Legion. Uh, and then if you do not romance her or romance Garrus, they romance each other, and I'm like,
Mm,
that's awesome. So it's just like I don't know, just all around Liara. Uh, I keep mixing it up now.
yeah.
Fucking hell. Tally is
Tali.
an amazing character. For Tally, I do want to have her helmet though. Her helmet with the hoodie, like it's a classic. You have to do it for the Mount Rushmore.
100%. For Grunt, I'm gonna put the Krogan homeworld as a Mount Rushmore. Just the planet. Yeah,
Tachanka.
Tachanka.
I was giving you a chance. I was like, you got it.
Oh, you thought I was gonna remember that shit? All right. So I'm gonna. Why don't you
Oh,
build
I'm
up
sorry.
your last
Yeah.
character? Okay,
Last
sorry.
thing with Tally, it's gonna have her helmet, and then it has to say Kila Salai under it.
Keela Salai. Yep. All right. Why don't you build up your last Mount Rushmore member?
All right. So, as you can see, the first three that I had, because we shared the same first two,
Hmm.
they are in Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
This character made so much of an impact. I was like, no, no, no. This dude only showed up in the second game, and he's not even really a crew member in the third game. And that doesn't matter because of how badass he is. I'm talking
Yeah.
about Dr. Morden Solus. So, Morden is an amazing character. When you first meet him, you're dealing with the whatever plague is going on in that one sector of Omega,
Hmm.
and then he's the only doctor who's like willing to try to save people because it's killing off. I believe it's killing off Turians,
Hmm.
and yeah, so Turians can't go in there. And there's one gang that's kind of just being run by Turians, so it's like, all right, somebody's doing this on purpose. And Morden's in there. He's like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay here. I'm gonna cure the people. And everyone's just like, oh, there's this ruthless doctor, blah blah blah. It's him, and he is quick to kill somebody if he needs to. It's like he'll kill whoever he has to kill to save whoever it is that he has to save because he is a doctor, and he is just all around badass. You find out that he took part in creating the genophage, and
Yes.
then later on, he's all like, you know what? We fucked up. I understand we fucked up. I need to cure it. We need to fix the genophage because we're basically getting rid of the entire Krogan race. And depending on how you play the game, he does well, no matter what, he does attempt to sacrifice his life in order to save the whole Krogan race.
Hmm.
In some games, he does. In other games, he doesn't. But no, Morden Solus is great, and he's like a funny, quirky character, especially using on the ship. He's one of my favorite characters that I would go back and interact with. One of which he's singing like a Solarian song, but it's based off of like some type of like American Broadway song. I forget what it is, but they just changed the words for his species. It was amazing. And fun fact, their lifespan is shorter than that of humans, so
Yeah.
he wouldn't have been around that much longer anyway.
Very true.
Sad to see, but Morden Solus. For him, I want to put. Oh man, what do I want to put for Morden? Just his little antennas because he's got one that's like broken. There's one good antenna, one half antenna. That's what I want
Nice.
from
Nice.
Morden Solus.
Um. All right. So for my last Mount Rushmore, this person uh was around all three games. He's
Hmm,
arguably one of the most important characters in the game.
hmm,
Without this person, you can almost say that the crew could have died many, many times. Um,
hmm.
and
This is all right. I guess I'll allow it. Yeah.
so
Gonna-
he's not a crew member that you can actually play.
He's a crew member. He's not a squad mate.
Exactly. And
Mm,
I picked him anyways because he was one of my favorites. He was
great character.
hilarious.
Great character.
He was a great character. I always enjoyed speaking with him, and it was a lot of fun interacting with him and seeing his growth through the show as well. One thing I really
Oh, it's
enjoyed
Grunt again.
about, huh?
I was like, it's Grunt again.
Yeah. One thing about this character is that he is the most ride or die character, one of the most ride or die characters in the game. Um, he followed Shepard everywhere he went. He never questioned him like other people did, never doubted him, and always had his back. And for my last character, I'm picking Joker, the the pilot of the Normandy 2, and one of the greatest pilots in the stars.
Mm,
So yeah, I picked him because he was great, man. I don't know. I enjoyed the hell out of Joker. He was always funny. I enjoyed his back and forth with Edie in Mass Effect 3. Him just trying to teach her human language and human nuance was some of the funniest shit um, in Mass Effect. And like I said, he was a crew member that never like doubted Shepard. He was like when Shepard was working with Cerberus, he was there. When Shepard went back to the humans, he was with him. Like he was the pilot for Shepard. So Shepard trusted him. I trusted him, and I really enjoyed I really enjoyed this character, so I had to put him on the list. And his
Yeah,
Mount
no, great
Rushmore is going to
character.
be the Normandy.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. No, yeah, I'm Joker's an amazing character. Joker's one of my favorite characters as well. And the image you have here, it's of him saluting. How many bones do you think he broke just to do
A lot.
that?
Uh,
But no, I mean, hell, you have one part of Mass Effect 2 where you're playing the game and it's literally like, okay, be Joker, play the game. What do?
yeah.
Limp from one end of the Normandy to the other and don't
Yep.
die doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you do actually. I remember that you do
Yeah.
actually get to play him for a second. So technically,
Well, no,
he's a
he's never been a crew member. You play as him. You never
yeah.
play as any of the other crew members. You only play as Shepard
That's
and
true.
as Joker.
That's true. Even more of a reason to have him on there. He was that special.
The only other playable character of the Mass Effect trilogy,
Yeah,
not counting the
pretty
multiplayer
much.
for 3. But yes,
But yeah, man. So that is my Mount Rushmore. It's funny we picked pretty much well, you picked 75% of yours were the main crew members from Mass Effect 1.
yeah,
Mine were 50%. Well, 75% also, but one of them not, you know. I don't know. I think they hit it out the park with the first crew, the crew, but Mass Effect 2 crew was really really great as well.
30 dozen.
Um,
And Liara is not a technically not a crew member. She's only in
and
the DLC for one
yep,
portion. Uh,
yeah, that's true. Very true. Um, so I can't wait till I have time and I'm not dying to go back and do a run through another one of Mass Effect. Uh,
and get your hands on Andromeda. Like Andromeda, I'm gonna be real, it's not as good as the other Mass Effect games,
mhm.
but it's in that world, and I know that you enjoy that world.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
100%. I still, from time to time, I just ponder the story
Yeah,
and the not replicators, replicators,
the Reapers.
the Reapers. Sorry,
Yeah,
replicators are from the
sounds familiar.
show, the Stargate.
Oh, okay.
They one of the bad guys were replicators.
What do you know about Andromeda exactly in terms of the story?
You had told me that they sent a ship to the Andromeda Galaxy before like the war started, before like the end of Mass Effect 3. So like the people.
Before the end of Mass Effect 2. So it's
Oh,
like
okay.
Mass Effect 3, they don't even know any of that shit's happening.
Yeah. So these the people that get to Andromeda don't know anything about what's happening in the Milky Way galaxy. So
Yeah,
that's all I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because they're out there and they're just like, it's the few people that are just like, hey, so Shepard's been back and forth to the Citadel, and he's working with Cerberus now, and for some reason, I'm hearing more and more people talk about the Reapers. I don't know what the fuck's up. And then a few people are just like, yo, the Reaper shit's real. And everybody that like believed it, and they're like,
Hmm.
all right, let's bring representatives of each race, put them on these different ships, and we're gonna shoot them off into the Andromeda galaxy and try to
Yeah.
find a habitable planet or habitable planets where we could, move on and just get away from the Reaper invasion.
Yeah.
So the game is all about trying to find a home world.
Nice.
And then you
Interesting.
do meet like new races, new alien races, and stuff like that, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. And yeah, there's a lot like they drop the ball in a lot of things, and visually, and the game itself isn't the greatest, like in terms of like gameplay and just the basically just the game itself. It breaks down
Yeah.
a lot. There's a lot of bugs, but you could see like the bones are there. It's like they tried to do something.
Yeah.
With a little bit more time, maybe that would have fixed it. I don't know, but it's worth playing.
Okay. No, I'll definitely get to it eventually,
Yeah,
but there's definitely more important things right now to play. So I'll get to it. Maybe we'll have another pandemic and I'll have more time to play video games. So
no,
hopefully not, but we'll see what happens. But that's it for Mount Rushmore and N7. Now, do you think we'll get any? Obviously, it's way too early, but Do you think we'll get any news in the next year or two about the possible Mass Effect 4 game?
Oh yeah, actually, it's been well. I
I think
think
it's still
maybe.
too early in development.
Well, they announced Mass Effect for what 2 years ago now,
Was it
or
2 years ago?
it might have been longer. But
Yeah, but even if it was 2 years ago, though, that was two pandemic years.
and yes, and I didn't even think about that. But the thing that I was thinking about that's going to make it even further out is, remember, this is BioWare, the same team that they did Andromeda. It was, not good. They did Anthem, which was trash. And then they're like, "Hey, we're gonna give you Dragon Age 4," and we've been waiting on Dragon Age 4 for forever. It
Yeah,
still hasn't dropped. So we know Dragon Age 4 has to come out before
before and
Mass
Mass
Effect
Effect 4.
Andromeda. And in that time when they were supposed to be working on Dragon Age 4, they're like, "Hey, here's the Mass Effect trilogy." And everyone's like, "Hey, this is awesome, but where's Dragon Age 4?" Like,
Yeah, here's Legendary Edition, but
yeah,
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 give
Legendary
us
Edition. That's what it's called. So it's like everyone's still like, "Bro, we've been waiting for years for this shit. Let's
yeah,
get it." So they gotta deliver Mass Effect. I mean, Dragon Age 4, and then
Mass Effect
we'll
4.
get Mass Effect 4 unless they decide they want to do something else. We'll see. Um, but yeah,
All right, I mean, yeah, I can wait. I have a lot of the stuff to play, catch
got to,
up on.
yeah.
Got God of War Ragnarok. I need to play Forbidden West.
Persona
Uh,
5's on Game Pass.
I don't know if I'm gonna play that.
It's only 120 hours, Eslam.
That just made me so tired. Made me so
So
tired.
good though.
So tired.
Like, it's the most anime game too. It's like it's so good.
I've never been into anime games.
Have you ever
Never.
played an anime game?
Only the fighting ones, but I've
See, those
never been
don't.
into
No,
them.
those don't count. Those don't count.
Yeah. But I also don't want to read.
Okay, put in English. Like, what's the problem?
Oh, like they speak?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, cause some games they'll like the character will come on and like
You're
it'll
thinking
be
of
in English.
Pokemon.
It'll come on and all they're just making sounds and you gotta read. I don't want to do that
All
shit.
right, just yeah. Persona 5, just switch it to English. You want English dub, like you're good. They
Okay.
have English voice actors throughout the entire game.
Oh, that's great. Okay, cool.
No.
Maybe we'll see.
Play it right fucking now, I'll watch.
What?
I said play it right fucking now, I'll watch.
That's so weird. All right, let's get into some news. Um, let's get into some Power Bomb Weekly.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Power Bomb Weekly. Your favorite podcast within a podcast, your favorite source of fan news.
That is
All right.
correct. You get all the wrestling news you need to know. Honestly, nothing too big happened in the world of pro wrestling. That being ironic because I'm going to talk about one of the largest men in professional wrestling, Braun Strowman. So, Crown Jewel happened, which is the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, and with Crown Jewel, um, there was a match between Braun Strowman and Omos, two very large men, basically just crashing into each other over and over again. It was better than most people expected it to be, especially for Omos being not that great of a wrestler. He's getting better. Now, after this was over, Braun Strowman goes to Twitter and he's like, "Hey, Omos, we did it. Look at us. It's true. The biggest men are the best wrestlers in the world. Nobody wants to see the smaller guys that should be bagging your groceries doing some bullshit." And then everyone else in the world is like, "Hang on, bro. Hang on a second, Braun Strowman. You need to shut the fuck up." So yeah, so he said all that. Wrestling fans are just going ham on him, just saying shit. Wrestlers themselves from WWE and other companies are like, "Bro, shut the fuck up." Mustafa Ali even said, "Hey, can you remind me again? How do I get fired by WWE?" So
Oh
all that
wow.
happened, and then he came,
Shots fired.
yeah, and then Braun Strowman was just like, "All right." He said some shit to Ali. I forgot what it was. Probably wasn't that cool. And then Strowman comes out. He's like, "No, it's all good. I'm sorry, guys. I guess you guys took it personally. Do I now have to pay Elon Musk $8 to say this?" So that was his reaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like a little story. If you want to jump over to the next one. Also, before I forget, this is Wrestle Talk News by Connell Rumsey. This story. All right. So MJF a little while ago, I said was going. He was auditioning for a movie when he was over in Vegas, or he went to Hollywood. I forgot what it was. Looks like he was actually in the works to play a character in the Iron Claw biopic. So this is going to be a movie made about the Von Erich family, probably the Curse of the Von Erichs. This is a famous wrestling family from back in the '80s in Texas, where almost all of them died due to suicide or different things. He's going to be playing as. Don't tell me I forgot the name. The non Von Erich. Von Erich. They got this one guy to pretend to be part of the family, Kevin Von Erich, and looks like MJF's going to play him. Um, so that's cool. It is what it is. Not the biggest news story, but the reason why I brought this in is because I want to talk about the next slide, Eslam. Also, this is another Wrestle Talk episode by Connell Rumsey. Now, the next slide, another
Oh, I
person
saw
that's going to
this.
be in the
Okay.
movie is Zach Efron, who is going to be playing Kevin. No, I just said Kevin. No, Zach Efron is Kevin Von Erich. MJF is going to be playing
Mm.
the other Von Erich. What's his name? It's the Von Erich no one liked. That's why I can't remember it. But anyway, Zach Efron with his funny outfit and hair is going to play Kevin Von Erich. I think he's the only Von Erich still alive from that generation. His
Damn.
sons do wrestle now. Everyone else, the father, everyone else passed away. All his brothers, sadly. They had one brother who went to WWE and wrestled for a little bit. Turns out he was having a little problems with wrestling while he was out there. The man had half a foot and nobody knew. So he would just like wear a boot
That's wild.
and he would wrestle with like a foot and a half, and still be able to go out there and wrestle like day in and day out, which is insane to me. I believe that was Kerry Von Erich. But yeah, if you want to go to the next one, Usla. All right, so this one, another Wrestle Talk news story by Connell Rumsey. This man's just been going hard with the news. So Nick Aldis recently got suspended from NWA. We don't know if that means he's officially done or not. NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, is being run by Billy Corgan, uh, member of the Smashing Pumpkins, like I alluded to earlier, Eslam, with that song.
Hmm.
And he runs NWA. He's been doing so for years. And Nick Aldis has basically been the face of the company. This was the top wrestling promotion back in the day, which has slowly been trying to come back. And it's getting better here and there. They had some lulls because of the COVID, and they're starting to get better. But throughout all that, Nick Aldis was the face of the company. Now, a little while ago, they did an entire show dedicated for like women's of wrestling. WWE had done it a few years back, and it was a pretty good success. NWA is like, hey, we want to do that. We want to represent women's indie wrestlers because there's a lot of good women wrestlers out there. Let's do that. The numbers weren't that great. Once again, this was during the COVID era, so it wasn't too numbers wise. I don't know if it drew too much money. There were really good matches. It was a good show overall. And Billy Corgan went on record saying something along the lines of, "Hey, this didn't draw too much, so chances we're not going to do this. I feel like women's wrestlers can't really, you know, headline like that." Now, I could be taken out of context. Definitely check out the story by Colin Russell to be 100% sure. And then he went on to talk about Mickey James being the wife of Nick Aldis. So Nick Aldis went out and said a whole bunch of shit on Twitter, talking about like, Billy Corgan sucks, NWA is trash, this, that, and the other. So he's now suspended, and we don't know what that means. We don't know if he's going to be, you know, if he's going to be forced to work without pay, or if they're going to keep him at home and pay him to stay home. We don't know what's going to happen. But as of right now, Nick Aldis, the face of NWA, is going to be suspended.
I'm sorry. Next slide.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Now this is another one. Talk about headlining women's wrestling. So New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom is going to do this crossover. Stardom being the top women's Japanese wrestling promotions, NJPW being the top men's promotion. And this is actually called Stardom Historic Crossover because it's Japanese and that's what they do when they come up with names of things. And the headliner is not going to be any of the men. There are men fighting on the card, but the main event is Mayu Iwatani versus Kyrie, formerly known as Kyrie Sane, in the WWE, um, fighting for the IWGP Women's World Championship. So this is a story by Wrestle Talk, written by SP3. Now, I'm not gonna go into details. They talk about how important this is to have them headlining such a huge show in Japan with men on the card, but the women are in the top main event. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely go on to Wrestle Talk, read about it, and see what they got to say. But this is a huge deal. This is going to be a huge match, and these are two phenomenal wrestlers, two of the best wrestlers in the world by far, with Mayu Itani and Kairi. Eslam, next one, please. And this is the last one. So this one's not so much of a news story; it's more of a recap. So like I was saying earlier with the first news story, Crown Jewel happened, the Saudi Arabia show. Overall, it was a Saudi Arabia show. It had good moments, but it wasn't the greatest show. The main event being Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul, who I forgot to type in his last name in the top there, for the Universal World Championship. Surprisingly, a really good match, and it's funny because a lot of people are upset about having to say this. Logan Paul is a goddamn really good pro wrestler. Like this is like his third match, and he's proven he's good. Like there's no denying, like the man's good. So it's he went out there. He and Roman put on a great show. Also, Roman's a great wrestler, so he's also helping him look good. But you could tell, like Logan Paul, obviously he's very athletic. Yeah, he's out there. He's putting on one hell of a show, man. It's kicking ass. But
Nice.
yeah, man. So they went out. Jake Paul got involved. So did people on Logan Paul's podcast. Roman Reigns, being part of the Samoan dynasty, the bloodline, all his brothers and cousins and everybody, they came out. It was all chaos. Everything was going on. In the end, Roman Reigns comes out on top, stays champ. But there were moments where they're like, "Oh my God, they might actually put the world title on Logan Paul." Like that almost happened. But no, man. Overall, it was a great, great match between the two. And at the end, I think Logan Paul was injured. I don't know if it's true or not, but they were saying stuff with the like ACL or MCL. I don't know, but hopefully it's nothing too serious. But yeah, man. Overall, it was a great, great match between the two of them.
Nice.
Yep.
I mean,
And
that's a great picture.
yeah, I saw that. I was like, that has to be the picture.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, that's what I got for PBW this week. Not too much.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing with us. All right, let's jump into my entertainment news. Lots has been happening in the past 2 weeks, and let's continue. So you had made a joke about Elon Musk, and the wrestler having to pay Elon to say this on Twitter. Originally, Elon had was gonna do $20 for verification, and when they kind of put that out there in the ether, he got pushback, and then he was like, "No, it's gonna be 7.99, but we won't do it now. We'll do it after midterm elections." I think the main point behind this is to have less bot accounts, and this will be a way of making sure that the person behind the account is a human.
Hmm.
So I guess it's a good thing, but I'm sure there could be another way of doing it where you don't have to pay for verification. And then I think everybody might like they kind of like want everybody to. So even me and you can get verified for like $8 a month. But then what does that mean? Does like people who are verified are usually like influencers or like famous people and such like that because they have the ability to influence people. So you have to make sure they are who they say they are, and not just someone faking it. So I don't know how they're gonna do that. Maybe with the payment, we'll get more features, but I don't know what that would look like. Cause like, why would we pay? Why would you pay for something that you already get for free? It's just it doesn't make sense. But we'll see where Elon takes it. He's a smart guy. Next up, PlayStation VR 2 arrives February 22nd, 2023, and will cost you $549.99. Now, um, we posted up a question on our community tab on our Los Wise Guys YouTube page, and we asked, "Is this worth the price tag?" Now, this is coming in at $50 more than the disc edition of the PS5, and $150 more than the digital version of the PS5. Now, PS5s, whether it's digital or disc version, have has a bunch of exclusive games, more coming out, and they have some of the best games in general in gaming. With PSVR, you don't have that catalog of games, right? You have Call of the Mountain coming out. I'm sure you'll have experiences, but you're not gonna really have a bunch of games like the PlayStation. Now, I understand this is a new technology, so therefore it's a little bit more expensive. But is it worth the money of $550 without a big list of games? Now, Dan, as an owner of the previous PSVR, um, what do you think?
Yeah, as somebody who owns a PSVR and PS5 with the disc edition, and I love the VR. I didn't get a chance to use it as much because you have to remember that's like year one, so you're not gonna have everything. Think of it like PlayStation year one versus PlayStation year five. We're not there yet. We're getting there. We're not
Hmm.
there yet. Now I see this, and I see PSVR two. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And they talk about it's gonna have eye tracking, it's gonna have haptic feedbacks like with the controller for the PS5. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, all those are great. Then I see this price, and I was like, okay, so this costs more than the console. And I get where they're coming from. I understand it costs a lot of money to make it,
Hmm.
but you also have to remember not everybody in the world has a PlayStation 5.
Yep.
So first off, it's already hard to get a PS5, so this only works on the PS5. So how many people are going to want to get this if they can't get the console? And then on top of that, how many people are going to want to pay? What's that? That would be $950 if they want to get the one that doesn't have a disc version and
Yeah,
get this. That's insane, and that's not counting any games
or $1,050. Now,
or a thousand
it
fifty.
sounds insane, right? Paying $1,050 for two pieces of technology,
Mhm.
but when you compare it to a cell phone, like if you're getting an iPhone 14 Pro that starts
Yeah,
at $1,000, a Pro Max starts at 1,100.
yeah,
So technically, you're getting two pieces of technology. One of them being the console, which you will get a lot of enjoyment out of a lot of game. Now, it's not the same as a phone where you are using that 24/7, right?
yeah. Because that's the
Um,
thing. It is apples to oranges at that point. It's
it is apples to oranges, but I guess it's if you look at it of what you can get with that amount of money, and like people are so willing to pay 11, 12, $1,300 for phone, especially if you up the storage capacity. um and then kind of looking at it through that light, maybe it's worth it in the near future, but at the
dude.
same
As a
time
gamer,
without
yeah, no. This is in
at,
no way is this worth it.
at the same time, yeah, if there's no large gaming catalog for it that's coming out with it other than Horizon Call of the Mountain, then what am I getting it for?
Like you could take. I mean, it's not only that. As I don't know if you're aware, it's not backwards compatible. Any games you got for PSVR one, you would have to repurchase here.
That's a no.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and
Yeah.
this is somebody I would love to get this, but you're telling me $550. I know it's gonna have Call of Duty. In Call of Duty, it's gonna have Call of the Mountain. It's gonna have. There's supposed to be this Walking Dead game that's supposed to be really good.
Hmm.
That's supposed to be on there as well. And we're gonna get the that one horror series, the anthology one. I can't think of the name right now. They're supposed to have a game on there too. So it's like those are three supposedly good games. With that being said, bro, if this was $400, I'm still iffy. Iffy. Maybe I'll get it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. You're telling me it's 550? That's a straight up
So
no.
what, you think this price should have been 249.99?
249? No. That's too.
349?
I think $300 would have been a sweet spot. Um,
299.99. Okay.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're losing money if they do that. So I understand where they're coming from. I understand why they're doing this, and this is going to be for the diehard fans, the people who
Hmm.
got PSVR one day one. I'm one of those people, and I'm telling you straight out, I'm not getting this. And most of what
Yeah.
I'm hearing is the same exact people in the same boat as me, or the people who liked VR. They look at this like this looks like a great piece of technology. It looks awesome. There's not enough games. I can't bring my old games over, and it's too expensive. No,
Yeah.
straight up.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. It's not an appealing price point for what they're offering, but
Hmm.
they're offering you to invest in the future. So if you have money like that and you can just push out $550 without it, hurting the wallet, then why not? But otherwise, especially going into a recession and people are definitely more conscious of what they're spending their money on, 550 is not a great price point for me. I mean, but yeah. Speaking of losing money, Microsoft loses up to $200 on every Xbox sold. Xbox head Phil Spencer reveals that Microsoft subsidizes the cost of the new Xbox units by $100 to $200 per console. I'm guessing $100 for the Series S and $200 for the Series X. The idea is that the games, accessories, and Game Pass sales will make up for the loss in the long run. Now, what that means is that Microsoft knows that it will not be selling as many consoles as its competitor, which is true, and they've already said this. Them subsidizing um, these consoles means that they want to get the consoles in your hand because they know that their Game Pass, the accessories for the Xbox, and certain games will make up for that subsidizing, and then in the long run, when they get you to sign up for Game Pass, it will make up for that money, which makes a lot of sense. Now, coming off the conversation, Sony's price point of PlayStation PSVR being at 550, I think if PSVR did this strategy in the long run, if they made it mandatory to have a subscription for the PSVR for the games that are coming out, where you still have to pay for the games but you pay for them at a cheaper price, but the subscription will help um, make that initial entry point cheaper. But you know, I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't make sense, and that would not be as appealing to the consumers. But who knows? All right, let's move on. Speaking of another VR headset, this VR headset can kill you if you die in a game, and it was inspired by an anime. Now, if you don't know what the anime was, it's called Sword Art Online, where the creator of the game had locked people into their headset, and if they died in the game, the headset shocked their brain, pretty much fried it, and they died in real life. Now, I don't know why the hell he would do this, or why this is even a thing. But I just thought it was interesting. Now I don't know if this actually does kill you,
I was about to say, how
because
legit is it?
it can be. They would never let it go on the market.
Exactly.
But I thought it was just very interesting, and I wanted to share it on here. I was trying to see if I can find anything more on it. Um, but yeah, either way, I don't think this is 100% real. I don't know what these three things that are coming up are, but I think it's just a gimmick, obviously, and like a collector's item.
Yeah.
But you never know. I still don't think it'll kill you. Like, it's impossible. They would never put it into production. But
Oh, I mean, did they say it's being sold?
true. It could be just the one headset
Yeah.
if you're brave enough. All right. Gears of War's live action movie and animated series announced for Netflix. Here is Netflix going after another gaming property to create content for their streaming platform. And I don't even know if there's a story behind Gears of War because I've never played it, but I
Oh,
know it's a
100%.
popular game. So, do you think that'll make a good show? I mean,
I mean, I never got into the
without your
story.
biased, yeah,
Yeah, I never got into the story. I know that it has a story. I know there's a lot of people behind it that are going to enjoy it.
yeah,
Um, I heard about the story, and they're just like, make the game, give us Batista, give us Terry Crews, and then
yeah.
Xavier Woods is like also throw in the New Day, and go. Why not do all that?
Yeah, yeah. I think Batista has already been announced to be part of the show. So
Well, he was in the game. Like the last game, they made it so that there was a character skin. The middle guy here, Marcus Phoenix, I believe his name is,
yeah,
where you could just change his appearance, and it's basically just you're playing as Batista with glasses.
nice.
So
All right, well then that means Batista has another role coming to Netflix, along with the Knives Out sequel. But yeah. All right, next up, Star Wars Andor season 2 begins filming later this month, and will bring us to Yavin. So we haven't finished season 1 yet, and the season finale for season 1 yet hasn't aired yet. I think it airs next week. So it's good to see that the season two they had already planned for two seasons and a certain amount of episodes for each season. Looks like they're keeping to that, and they won't prolong it too long and make it bad. So, looking forward to finally catching up on Star Wars Andor and seeing how this season ends and what it leads to the next season. Excited for that story. Um, the Mandalorian season 3 premiere will reportedly release on February 22nd, 2023, so the first quarter of the new year. So, looking forward to season 3 of The Mandalorian. Hopefully we get a different type of story and writing for this season and not just running errands in space with a baby. So, Warner Brothers Discovery wants to focus on franchises, which will include Lord of the Rings, which they have the rights to create movies for, Harry Potter, Superman, and more. I guess with the flop of Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Warner Brothers could be like, yeah, we can make better movies. And if they make a trilogy prequel about like the Silmarillion, and it's way better than the show, that would be fucking hilarious, and it would
I
be
mean,
phenomenal.
yeah, I think at this point, if they did try to do Lord of the Rings, I honestly think they would go the other route and be like, what happens after Lord of the Rings?
Yeah,
I think it would be a sequel if
I
they did.
still want to see Morgoth. Can someone give me Morgoth?
You're gonna have to do it yourself.
I guess so. I guess so. And it's gonna suck more than the Rings of Power because I can't write for shit.
That's a
So,
lot of sucking.
oh yeah, my throat hurts already. Um, HBO has canceled Westworld after its fourth season. I feel like Westworld could have been one of those shows that are like really popular because the concept is amazing,
It's fairly
but
popular.
it's I don't know, it just got overshadowed by House of the Dragon and just Game of Thrones in general. People just gravitated to that way more than this show, so it's not bringing in the same numbers. So HBO is cutting its losses wherever they can, so they could be more profitable and more lean with their content. They're not just trying to put out content in mass; they're trying to put out quality, which I salute my hat to you. Dodgeball sequels only awaiting Ben Stiller's approval. Uh,
Hmm.
this is exciting. I hope they do this because
The
I
only
can't
Vince
wait.
Vaughn movie I enjoy, Dodgeball.
Listen,
Interesting.
with Dodgeball, uh, I just I can't imagine a sequel in this day and age just because of the original Dodgeball and movies like that type of comedic movies back then would just doesn't run like that today in the way of PC culture.
What did they
So,
do?
um,
Like I
I don't.
literally just watched Dodgeball about a month ago or
Yeah,
less. There's a bad guy making fun of fat people. That's not going to be that crazy. And they kept on saying, "Oh, this one the female leader lady, she might be a lesbian."
yeah.
That those are two things which they can get away with.
I, can they? I don't know.
Bro,
I really don't know anymore,
between
man. I really
between
don't
you
know.
and me, I take a lot of shit more personal than you do. I see something I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's culturally incorrect. Like you let a lot of more things go more than I do, and I
yeah.
look at this and I'm just like, no, they could put the first movie as is and release it today. It's perfectly fine.
Listen,
Trust me.
if they make fun of culture, as long as it's funny and not making like a typical stereotype or being mean about the funniness,
Hmm.
I enjoy the jokes.
Hmm.
Uh, but if it's like coming from a place of malice,
Hmm.
then that's when I get like annoyed. But
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Dodgeball is perfectly fine. Trust me.
Okay, I hope so because I really enjoyed that first movie. It was
Yeah.
phenomenal. I love Ben Stiller's character.
Yeah.
I would love to see a return of that. Maybe they're training the kids for a dodgeball tournament and it's coach versus coach. But hey, we'll see. It will be hilarious. The Last of Us HBO Max series has a release date of January 15th.
Hmm.
So we won't have to wait too much longer for that to come out for us to watch it and enjoy the hell out of it.
If it's
Super
good,
excited
if
for
it's
that.
good, we'll see.
I have hope, man. I have hope. It's coming out before the wedding, so we might actually get to see it and give an initial review before I disappear for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it is. It looks good. I won't deny that it looks good,
yeah.
but I don't know, man.
You being skeptical like that is good because then you won't be let down when it sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm having high hopes because again it's an HBO show and I feel like
Yeah.
they really do things well. So I'm hoping for the best. I really am. All right. And last but not least, um it's a little teaser of
Damn, I thought it was Bane.
Sandman.
Mm. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Don't like what?
That whole like, why even make this? Like, we know it's coming. Like, why did they make this?
Do we know it's coming? They finally like
Yeah,
officially said it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. They officially said it. They didn't have to
Yeah.
make a stupid like we. This doesn't help us at all with the next season. It's like, hey, we're gonna make a season 2. Here's a mask that you've seen before.
This made me excited.
Not
I
this.
enjoyed I enjoyed this teaser a lot.
I'm less excited about the show because of this.
Damn, you
Like,
suck.
legit
I
less
enjoyed the
excited.
hell out of this. I was like, "Yay, more
It's a mask.
Sandman."
They already, but I read the news story. I read the news story and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Season 2. I don't need a video.
Why are you ruining the fun?
That was dumb. And on top of that, when it first popped out, I thought it was Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. And I was upset because you see, like, it's just that, and then you see the middle thing. I was like, Bane is coming back. Tom Hardy's Bane. He's back. And then I see this.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint. It's just Sandman season 2, one of the great shows that has come out in the past year. Getting a sequel. Boo hoo, Dan. Gosh.
I mean, I'm excited about the show too, but I was excited when I read the news article. I didn't need Netflix to waste their resources on a video. A show that you love got canceled because of that video. I hope you know that.
What show?
I don't know, but a show, you're gonna come up.
Oh, okay,
You're
I
gonna
get what
come
you're
up like
saying.
in a week. Hey, guess what? This story got canceled. I'm gonna be like, hey, you remember the Sandman teaser trailer? And you're gonna say no, and we're gonna move on. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Oh, that's hilarious. A show did get canceled so they can make that teaser because I'm sure it costs a lot of money.
Yep.
Oh, that's so funny.
So you enjoy that. You enjoy. Next time
You
a
know
show you
what?
love
I
gets
will
canceled,
enjoy
you
that.
enjoy that.
I hope they don't cancel the Dragon Prince because I just finished watching season 4 and it was really good.
You can
Um,
just watch this trailer a bunch of times. It'll
and
be
they
fun.
and they so I had mentioned many times before that the Dragon Prince was made by the creators of Avatar: Last Airbender,
Hmm.
which I'm mistaken.
Well, it's a
It
book,
was, huh?
right? Isn't it a book?
What's a book?
The Dragon Prince.
I don't know if it was a book or not, but
Okay.
uh, a producer and a writer from Avatar: The Last Airbender are the creators of the Dragon Prince,
Hmm.
not the actual creators of Avatar: The Last Airbenders, because they're two different people.
Yeah, Brian Konietzko and
Yeah.
something else.
So those guys are not the creators. So I just wanted to correct my information that I was saying, but they out in season 4 they threw in something that was really funny, a little homage to Avatar. Someone was riding a dragon and the dragon wouldn't do anything, and he kind of just gave up and was like, let me, and was like, yip yip, and then the dragon just started flying.
That's
So I
awesome.
thought that, yeah, that was great. I like that. So yeah, final thoughts.
Yeah, we had a lot of news today.
Yeah.
Love the Mass Effect thing. And in all transparency, we weren't gonna do anything until Henry mentioned it. So thank you,
Yeah.
Henry.
100%.
He's a Mass Effect fan, just like we're Mass Effect fans. It's just I don't know if we've ever done anything for N7 Day.
No, we
Um,
haven't.
yeah, so this is the first time we've done it. Maybe it's something we should do more often. Celebrate Mass Effect a little bit more. I think
Yeah,
everybody should do that. Everybody should take a step back and thank
should
Shepard
become a
for saving our
holiday.
lives. I mean, it is sorta.
Yeah, no, it should become like official.
Yeah, but official holidays are trash.
Yeah, but you could get a day off and place ends like Mass Effect on that day.
No.
Has to be mandatory. Like the backflip inspector will come and check.
Oh, he doubles as the N7 Day inspector.
Yeah.
Are we doing something Mass Effect related? Is that fine? It's Andromeda. I'll let it slide.
My final thoughts. We have a lot of great shows coming out. We have a lot of great content coming out. I can't wait to cover some of that stuff and just enjoy watching it. And yeah, thanks for joining us on another episode of Los Wise Guys podcast. If you like what you hear, don't forget to follow us on our social medias. If you noticed, Disco wasn't here today. He didn't play Mass Effect, so actually he did play Mass Effect, and he murdered his whole crew on the second game.
Yeah,
So we were like, "You can't be on this
yeah. He
episode. You
couldn't
don't
pick a crew
deserve."
member. He killed them all.
Yes, so we were like, "Nah, son, you can't be on this episode. Get the fuck out of here." And go like, subscribe, share, comment below. Liking and subscribing is free for you to do and is very important for our channel to grow. So thanks for helping us do that. Go check out the Los Wise Guys website. I made some edits to the website, made it a little bit more simpler to navigate. It is now one page, and everything is on the main page. So you have your YouTube videos. Actually, it's more than one page, but you have your YouTube videos on the first page with links going on to YouTube, so you can check out the playlist, and you can go check out the podcast page, which has the audio players for those podcast episodes, and it also will take you to other your favorite podcast listening app. So go check out Los Wise Guys website. Thank you for listening, and have a great week.